Welcome to
Welcome.
episode 2 or 3.
I think it's two because we we
Two.
made episode one, part one and two for some reason, but
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
run with it.
We'll run with it.
We'll run with it. Hopefully the audio is good for this one.
Yeah, that was shocking. My bad.
It'll be what it'll be.
That's it.
So the other week you were talking about the thing that I guess the fear that you want to face the most by the end of the year. Do you remember that, Oz?
Yeah, the dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done it yet?
Nah,
No.
nah. There hasn't been any opportunities. I don't think I'm quite ready, but we'll see. It'll
Alright.
come when it comes.
It will. I've thought of mine.
Yes, you have one. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I want to like host a meditation.
Epic.
Yeah,
Like a group session.
like a group session. Yeah, like out
Awesome.
somewhere, and I don't know, invite people to come. I don't know if anyone will come, but if anyone out there interested in being in my group meditation and
Yeah.
wants to keep me accountable, then
Mm.
otherwise I'll put it out there and do it myself if.
In a park?
Yeah, somewhere nice, somewhere in
Yeah,
nature. Maybe
yeah.
it's like a meditation and maybe a bit of journaling or something.
Mm,
But yeah,
awesome.
I think that'll be definitely facing a fear, but something that crazy excites me because it's what I want to do. So
Awesome. I'll be there if I can. No, it's really cool.
thank you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Should we dive into today?
Let's dive
What do
in. We've actually got
what
a
do we
topic today that we're going to
we
focus
do?
on.
What are we gonna be talking about?
The inner child.
Yeah. Yeah. This is gonna be probably a big topic for both of us.
Mm.
I would say. I think you're a bit more knowledgeable in the topic, but I think my mind's been kind of ever since you mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. My mind has just been racing on the stories and the topics that I'm telling myself that I could quite confidently say is my inner child just from feel, I think. So I'm really excited to get into this.
Oh.
Cool.
Do you want to start by telling us who your inner child is or even what it is to you? Because it might be a different thing to everyone, but
Yeah,
what's your
of
inner child
course.
to you?
Um, well, I might just start because my mind's just on it at the moment and it won't leave. So I might just start with a story. Um, so you brought up last week your vulnerability around crying, which was very cool. Thank you for sharing that. I have this memory of when I was a kid. I think it was probably the last time that I cried, and I'd love to share it because, yeah, I think it was a real turning point for me. But I really want to hopefully one day overcome it, right, and just feel that release because I feel like I feel like the body has definitely kept score on this one. So when we were in Townsville, right, I think I must have been grade 5 to 7, I believe. Um, and I had a friend coming over in the afternoon, and I also had a lollipop, and I was really enjoying that lollipop. And yeah, it got taken away from me, unfortunately, and I cried a lot because I don't know why, right? I felt maybe a connection to that lollipop. I don't know, but I was really enjoying it. And then I got taken away from me, so I cried and cried and cried, and then I got over it, as you do. And then yeah, my friend came over in the afternoon, and I got yeah, I got teased about crying over the lollipop. Um, and yeah, I just denied it. I just seriously denied it when probably everyone in that situation knew that I was just denying it. And yeah, that was the last time I cried. That was the day the inner child learnt not to show too much emotion. Otherwise, yeah, bad things can happen from it. That's the day that happened for me. And that
Thank you for
feels
sharing.
so good to get out on my chest. I
Thank
don't,
you for sharing, man.
yeah, of course.
Some healing. I kind of feel that too, because that definitely could have been me teasing you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't remember the specifics, but I think everyone was pretty much involved. Yeah, but I would never.
Yeah, and it's crazy how, especially at that age, like and the people teasing you, it's they're wanting you to be a certain way to them based on their beliefs
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
And we don't realize the impact necessarily that those things have, especially at a young age. And that's why, yeah, this stuff fascinates me because, man, like one story like that, you know, you might not think, oh, that's not a big deal. Like, you know, it's one story, but like you said, that's still with you to this
yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah, proper. So yeah, it's crazy. And I think that's how the cycle starts, right? Like that turns into me not letting other people cry as well, right? And that's well, obviously the cycle didn't start there, but
Yeah,
I
well,
can
that's
see
your
that.
belief that's been formed then about the world, and that's
Yeah,
the belief then that you operate with, isn't it? It's like an
yeah,
operating system, like,
yeah. And I'd project onto others. Yeah,
yeah. But that's not, and again, that's, you know, that's the whole, another way of looking at it is it's like the ego, the energy of the universe, like projecting its consciousness onto other people, like,
yeah,
and the ego catches, you know, the ego it was what it becomes is like safety. And like you
yeah,
learned that it was not safe to do this. So it's like,
yeah,
I'm gonna protect you.
yeah, yeah.
Sit
Thanks
back.
for that. Thank you.
Don't be yourself. Let me protect you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'd love to
So
hopefully
I guess
overcome
that's a
that
big
one
one for
day.
you, is that,
Yeah.
you know, boys don't cry.
Boys don't cry, and that's yeah, the probably the main message from my inner child, or the one that's come to mind or come to light as of recent times.
Have you been
Um,
able to release that? I guess because there's now been so many times that you probably
mm,
needed to cry, your body's
mm,
needed to let it out, but you know,
yeah,
that's building up, isn't it, inside you?
yeah, yeah, for sure. No, I would love to be able to say that I've started that release, but no, still very much within me. But I think through these conversations and just through I don't know everything that we're doing, I think we're on the right path
Mm.
to that. I mean, you're always on the right path anyway, right? But I feel like I feel like I have some. It's always nice to feel like you have some active contribution to your healing. So that's how I feel
Oh, that's beautiful, man. Thank you. Thank
about
you for
it.
sharing.
Of course. Thank you for allowing this space. Um, can you tell us a little bit about inner child
So I'll start with
to
like, because like, there's a lot here for me. Like, I've
yeah,
written a lot about this, and
yeah,
it's kind of hard to really understand. But I'll just start with a little bit about like those formation years and why
yeah,
I think it plays such a big role in everyone. And it might be called a different thing for everyone, or but for me, like the inner child. So like Dr. Joe Dispenza, this book I'm reading talks about brainwaves, and your brainwave development. So like in your 0 to 2 years, you have a lot of delta waves, which is zero point 0.5 to 4 cycles a second. In that, you're pretty much asleep. Like you can't know too much around you. You're not analyzing. You're not planning. You're not really
mm,
sensing anyone. You're not like there's no. It's delta waves are what we sleep with.
Yeah.
So like that's that baby years, and then from 2 to 6, you go to like the theta brainwaves, which is where it's primarily connected to your internal world. You believe abstract and in the realm of imagination and exhibit few of the nuances of critical, rational thinking. Thus, young children are likely to accept what you tell them. So, like, we are talking about developing this character the other week, right?
Mm.
And like, the more I think about this, I'm like, who decided who I am? Like, where did this character come from, right? And
Yeah.
I'm just diving deep into this moment. Like, how am I Adam? Like,
Yeah.
it's such an abstract thing. Like, you give someone a name, your parents did this as a job, or you went to this school, you're from this country. Like, they're just they're not real things, are they? Like, they're
Mm.
all made up.
Mm.
And like in that age cycle, we just believe everything. And so it's like there's things that have real impact on you. Like big boys
Mm.
don't cry. Girls should be seen and not heard. Your sister is smarter than you. If you get a child, if you get a cold, you catch it. You believe in Santa. Like
Yeah.
you live in this. You don't have the ability to think or analyze things yet. So you believe everything, and it's just like the perfect way for that identity to evolve, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you go from 6 to 12, you go into the alpha range, which is when you um, begins to develop and draw conclusions about the laws of external life, right? And this is probably the realm you're in then. So you've got
Mm.
these beliefs about who you are,
Yeah.
all right, but now you're making connections, like exactly in that story, you've got this belief of, I'm Jarrod, I really want
Yeah.
this lollipop. Like before you were 6, you're like, you wouldn't care because you can't analyze if people are laughing at you because you couldn't analyze
Yeah.
that was bad, right?
Yeah.
But now you've got this conception, so now you
Yeah.
see them laughing at you, and you're like,
Mm.
um, I'm being teased for this thing, therefore
Yeah.
crying is bad.
Yeah.
So that's when you start to gain these habitual patterns. So it's like 6 to 12 age range is where
Mm.
you get a lot of these beliefs as well.
Yeah.
Um, and like you're learning how to essentially it's that 6 to 12, you're learning how to survive,
Mm.
right? And for me, that's the inner child. Like
Yeah.
it's this survival mechanism, right? For me anyway, when I sit with my inner child, the inner child for me is like my reactive part.
Mhm.
It's that sense of threat,
Yeah.
act a certain way to be safe,
Yeah.
even if there's no threat. But like that's me perceiving threat. I'm pretty sure like for me it's like a 9-year-old when I was 9. You know what I mean? So I don't react as 27-year-old Adam. I react as
Yeah.
9-year-old Adam.
Yeah.
So from those learnt behaviors when I was younger, based on these beliefs that I have about the world.
Mm.
Um, so for me, I feel like, yeah, my inner child though also feels like it needs to carry the weight of all my pain and suffering as well, and all my emotion, um, which I'm not sure why it does that. Um, But yeah, my inner child comes up when I'm tired, when I'm stressed, um, those type of things when I'm not consciously aware. Um, and it'll be very reactive to threat,
Yeah.
like a lot of shame reactions. So like if I feel like, someone perceives that I've done. It's very much like if you're talking to a little kid, like I would
Yeah.
lie if I've done the wrong thing. You know what I mean? I don't want to get
Yeah.
caught. I don't want to get found out. Like, oh no, he did this to me.
Mm.
I'm the victim. Everything's your fault. I didn't do anything wrong. Like everything you picture a little kid doing.
Yeah.
Like those type of behaviors that come out
Yeah.
when I guess the inner child's provoked.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, what do you think about that?
um. So when you're in this, so you said that your inner child feels a need to like carry this pain and carry
Mm.
this weight. Is that, would you say that's like in your 9-year-old self kind of discovering empathy as a way to find love and connect with the world? Like, would you?
I think it's more like a shield that my 9-year-old puts up, like in everyday situations to survive,
Yeah.
and all the emotion that I should let out every day that I don't just sits there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So that
Yeah.
then when I relax and I meditate and I tell
Yeah.
my inner child it's okay to let go,
Yeah.
that wall comes down
Yeah.
and it just all comes out. If
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like my inner child I feel like is the reactive part of me, but it's also like this shield. Like you say
Yeah.
that you can't cry yet, right?
Yeah.
Like to me, my inner child is what comes up and tenses and like
Yeah.
stops me. It goes, no, don't do that.
Wow.
Threat, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
stop. It's
Yeah.
like this big bright light that flashes in my brain like danger.
Danger.
You know what I mean? Don't go there.
Yeah. From
And
this,
that's
what these things that you learned from 9 to 12, like this,
100%.
this So, from my understanding of that, the 6 to 9, you're kind of believing everything
Mm,
and taking in what others believe around you and stuff like that, like building this um, truths about the world, right? And then
mm.
9 to 12 is that interaction of those truths with the world.
Yeah, so 2 to 6, you're believing everything, and then six to
Yeah.
12 is the interactions and like I guess
Okay. Yep.
cementing those beliefs. Because
Yeah.
once you get those alpha waves, you're able to analyze and like
Yeah.
when you're having a conversation with something, you're actually able to pick up, what
Yeah.
they are referring to, or
Yeah.
like
And
you
if
say you can't dance, right?
yeah.
When you were 6 years old, you probably had no problem dancing
Yeah.
in front of people because you had
Yeah.
no perception of how people would perceive you, or
Yeah.
you didn't understand what that meant.
Yeah.
You turn 8 and you start caring, like
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
you're
about
able
that
to,
perception.
yeah,
Yeah.
like and then we graduate into beta waves from 12 and onwards, which is really that high frequency. But I don't know, like I just feel like that inner child has such power over my unconscious
Yeah.
world. So when
Yeah.
I'm unconscious, or not aware, like in robot way, which we all are like 95% of the time,
Yeah.
it's there. And um, it's slowly, the more like I bring it out, like we talked about bringing things into light and being
Yeah.
conscious aware, the more, I'm starting to create this new mind that knows it's 27 years old. I know I'm safe. I know I'm not in threat. I know I can, I want to be open. I want to be vulnerable. Like it's just a process of making this new self, and I think we have to do that.
Yeah.
We have to heal from this, and it's not. I don't think it's about like throwing away the inner child
Yeah. Yeah.
because it kept you safe. You have to like love and appreciate what it did for you.
Yeah. Because I mean, as if you could throw it away, right?
It's always
Like
going
you
to be
could
there.
suppress it. Yeah, you could dig it deep. Like you could dig it a hole in
Yeah.
the depths of your brain where you just don't see it and ignore it. But yeah, can you really throw things away? Probably not. Um, I have a little bit on that kind of throwing things away. I'm listening to Becoming Nobody at the moment, and I do really like seriously struggle with, is this, am I avoiding this like feeling, or am I feeding off this feeling? Is this becoming a story? Am I playing the victim here, right? Like those two sides. And he said something um that really like struck a chord, because it's both. Like you have to do both to heal. Like you seriously have to let go of things, but you can't do that without diving into them. And really, really seasoned, like people who are good at this can do them both at the same time.
Mm.
But that takes a lot of practice. So it's interesting to um, have a way to kind of deal with it instead of just throwing it away. Like you kind of just have to do both, like letting it go and like letting it go from this, um, like it controlling your mind, right? Into this new mind, your 27-year-old mind, but you've also got to kind of, I guess, see it in action for you to see it. Would you say?
Yeah, and we've talked about this last. Like the first step is just observing it. Like you got to know
Observing it.
it's
Yeah.
there. You got to know
Yeah.
it's there to even be able to. And like you said, like throwing it away is definitely not the. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely can't necessarily be aware of it and let it go at the same time.
Yeah. That'd be cool,
Um,
right?
yeah, I feel like at times when I'm in a deep meditation,
Yeah.
I can really like get on the frequency of love, like a high
Yeah.
frequency of emotion,
Yeah.
and I can really sit with it and feel it. I
Mm.
feel like I need to do a long, deep meditation to
Yeah.
be able to let any of it go.
Yeah.
Um, and that's when I feel that relief. I think like when I do cry or I have a
Yeah.
laughing session, I think that's when I really, to me, that's like
Mm.
the inner child, just like letting a bit of that barrier down and letting that emotion through.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like, it's so hard because it's there all week
Yeah.
and, you got to function in society.
Yeah.
And to, like you said, that first step, you can't just throw it away. You've got to do the other part. You got to sit with it.
Yeah.
And to sit with that stuff means you need time and space
Yeah.
and I've got to play this character, I've got to go to work, I've got
Yeah.
to do all these
Yeah.
things. So usually for me, it's like a Saturday morning
Yeah.
if I do it. Like even today, this morning, I tried, but I had things to do.
Mm.
So that part of me wouldn't let go.
Yeah.
It held on.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I really feel if I have like a big week, I can feel it like on a Saturday morning.
Mm.
Um, just the emotion
Yeah.
because like I don't let any out all week. Like I don't
Yeah.
even express any emotional week because that's survival strategy, isn't it? That's my
Yeah.
they're still very much on my programming system.
Yeah.
Um, as much as I'm installing new things, I
Yeah.
still have a lot of that old hardware there.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's the both parts of the healing, right? Like you're really, I mean, to really sit with it, like you can always just sit with it and like you can bring up feelings and stuff in meditation, but to seriously sit with it while it's happening, like I feel like that's super powerful and so hard to do and to like just let it play out. Like I exaggerate quite a bit. Like I can like literally sometimes just being like um just like adding a few years onto a story or something, right? Like and it's so obvious.
and you catch yourself do it, but you still do it
Mm,
anyway.
yeah, and I catch myself doing it,
Yeah,
but
I do this too.
yeah. um and yeah, I catch myself doing it, but and I do sometimes bring it out until like if I fit that's how I like. I think that's probably how I know that I'm in a pretty comfortable situation is when I'm happy kind of bringing that catch out into the light, right? Like I would say it in the conversation, like, "Oh, sorry, I exaggerated there," kind of thing, right? And
Man,
point
that's
it
some
out.
pretty big awareness to do that, like
Yeah,
in the moment.
yeah, exactly. And but it's so tough, right? Like, and that's what, yeah, I feel like you can't do just one way or the other kind of thing. Like I struggle just to sit with it on a Saturday morning and bring it back into my mind.
Mm,
Like maybe I just need to grow that practice a bit more or yeah,
mm,
but to start start a day with a little bit of stillness and then, I mean there's so many days and so
mm.
many interactions like you're just gonna kind of be a bit more conscious at some points, I think.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
maybe it's just like a random like trigger or something that kind of
Mm.
brings you back into the moment, and then you can just kind of be like, oh, no, yeah, I was like judging that. But I don't know. Do you find it? Because it sounds like you can really bring it up in meditation, and I think that's super cool. But I think
Yeah. Well, I think I found where it lives in my body
yeah,
as
that's
well,
cool.
like my chest, my
Yeah,
neck, and my shoulders, and like Davy G's That's why some of his meditations are really good because
yeah,
I can find it. And the other thing that does work for me is like some like real extreme breath work, but I also
yeah,
find I can do it if I like go to gym, right?
yeah,
And like it's profound how like because I sit most of the day, right? And I'm
yeah,
constantly staring at a screen and
yeah,
just writing and like constantly in like this high beta wave state, which is a high stress state, just
yeah,
constantly thinking about I think the smallest thing has to be done straight away, right?
yeah,
And like it's the same as like the biggest thing, right? My
yeah,
brain just wants to get everything done, everything to be in order.
yeah,
So I'm to come home and try to like decompress from that. I'm like, oh,
mm,
I can't sit there and do a meditation right now. Like,
yeah, yeah,
oh man, I wish I could, but that's on Saturday morning. And this might happen like on a Monday. I've had to deal with some pretty highly stressful situations
yeah,
and just like push it down.
yeah,
But I found like going to the gym, right?
yeah,
And I'll get on the bike and I'll
yeah,
start doing like a lot of my breathing,
yeah,
like, and then I'll like get my heart rate real high. So I'll do like some deep breathing and
mm,
then I'll just like breathe like right in through my stomach, through my brain, like
yeah,
hold the brain in my head and then hold and like sprint as fast as I can.
mm,
And I can just feel the energy that's stuck in me
wow,
almost just like release and work up my body. And then it just like
wow,
my heart rate. And Andrew Huberman says like one of the best things you can do is get you once, a couple times a day, get your heart rate above 150. Like you don't
yeah,
even need to do it for long. Like it's just like go up a
yeah,
pair of stairs or something. Like I
yeah,
don't know, but for me, like this is such stale energy every day sitting in my office, like
yeah,
working on screens and stuff.
yeah,
And like I just get this release, man. And then I
wow.
just like
Oh,
I
wow.
leave the
That is
gym
awesome.
sometimes and it's like facing the sunset
Yeah.
and it's just quiet and there's bush and I just get
Wow.
so emotional, man. It's just like life is so simple. And then like, because
Yeah.
I've also now like don't listen to podcasts. I just play music, and it's the
Mm,
only time that I just listen to music. I get my heart
mm.
rate up. I like look at the sunset, and I just walk out. And all the whole way home, man, it's just like so
Holy.
much. Like sometimes I've cried just like on the way home, just
Yeah.
like, but just like singing and just like not giving a fuck about anything, like yelling silly, like is such a release. Like,
That's awesome.
so that's another
Wow.
thing that has worked for me.
Yeah.
And it's just like I know when I have that release, it's just like I just look at things and I'm like, so simple, man. Like,
So
why
simple.
don't we just sit out and watch the sunset every afternoon? Like,
Yeah. With a
how
cup of
amazing
tea.
is it, man? We'd rather be inside, like stressing about tomorrow or,
Mm,
but that's that those learnt patterns like like
yeah.
safety, isn't it? Like, and that's I'm massive in that mind is the doing mind. It controls so much of my life. Like,
Yeah.
just to have a moment where I just be, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
listening to music, looking at the sunset, it
Mm,
just helps me a lot.
yeah. That's awesome. From like Ram Dass, he said from becoming to being.
Yes,
I love that. I feel like that
man.
fits in well
Oh,
with the
that sits with me so much.
yeah, right? Because you I think I can't remember if we talked about this last week, but just always going from point A to point B.
Yeah, trying to get somewhere. Even in meditation, we talked about, hey,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, true.
like an
And just
end goal.
yeah, yeah. That's
Like even now, I'm sitting here thinking, like, when we go to finish, like, what am I
yeah,
gonna eat? Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, and it's like,
Mm,
why? Like, your brain thinks
mm,
that this projects on the future that this thing's gonna be the best thing ever,
yeah,
right? So like say on Monday you can't wait for the weekend,
Yeah.
right? And you're thinking like Saturday can't wait. I'll be good when I do this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'll be happy when I'm here.
Yeah.
And then you get to Saturday and you're thinking about work on Monday, or you get
Yeah.
drunk, or you do something, you're never really present,
Yeah.
and then it's thinking you're stressing about work on, or you get to Sunday and you're stressing about work on Monday.
Mm.
Oh, I've got to go to work on Monday. You're never here.
You're never here.
You're
Agree.
never here. Like you're
Yeah.
never okay. And like I think this is just a wound of humanity. It's definitely
Yeah.
one of my biggest. Like even today it was raining, so I couldn't go out and mow my lawn and
Mm.
or play
Uh-oh.
golf, or I couldn't do.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Uh-oh.
do. I had to sit.
Yeah. Far
I had
out.
to be. And it was
Yeah.
like,
You poor soul.
I know, man. Who am I if I can't
Yeah.
I'm not worthy? And it
Mm.
is that self-worth. Like I have that's probably another habitual thing. Like this is
Mm.
another story, right?
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I remember this. You've told mine, I remember this, right?
Yeah. Late.
This is a massive trigger for me, like shame
Yeah.
trigger, I reckon. Like being called lazy.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, because
Yeah.
I just got told so much growing up.
Mm.
It must have been in those years, like, you're lazy. Like,
Mm.
you're lazy. Because I didn't behave in a way that they wanted me to, right? It was a way of getting, and it was innocent. It wasn't
Mm.
like, but because I think it hit a chord in those early years, like, it's inbuilt in me now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm constantly on edge thinking, not wanting people to perceive me that way.
As lazy. Yeah.
And I really struggle to like, and it's like you're lazy because you didn't clean your room or you didn't do this, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I really struggle with mess, like
Yeah.
almost just like it just causes so much stress in my body to
Yeah.
sit. Like, and I like this afternoon, I was a bit bored. I couldn't go out and do things. I couldn't do to distract myself.
Mm.
So I was just looking around, like thinking, like, oh, that's out of place. Like, and I caught my
That
inner
is
child, man. I did. I
awesome.
caught it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
ah, because I'm really trying to let mess go. Like it's my thing at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm really
Yeah.
trying to let
Awesome.
mess go. So I'm
Mm.
like, ah, not that
Mm.
person anymore. While I like walk over and my hand grabs it and moves it.
Yeah. Nice try, buddy.
Nice try. You think you have any control?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was thinking about this the other day too, because we've been talking about
Mm.
free will, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Like I was thinking, I was driving the car. I'm like, I could not crash my car
Mm.
into something
Yeah.
like the car in front of me if I tried. There is no part of me that would let me do it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like so, like yeah, that unconscious part of us is so strong.
Yeah. So strong. Um. Ramdas says that um so the difference between free will and fate is just levels of consciousness.
Ah, fate. Yeah.
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 Okay. I like
And
that.
so
Explain.
that's yeah. Um so it's just well, I mean it's tricky because obviously Ramdas has practiced a lot and access to other planes of consciousness
Mm.
that maybe we wouldn't um at this moment.
Are you talking yourself down before you try to explain something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that
Yeah.
too.
I'm not some guru, like,
Yeah.
but I think that I don't know. I don't have to explain it. I think I just have to. It's
So the
a
difference between
belief
free will
thing.
and fate.
Yeah,
So what's Ram Dass's perspective?
is that it's just different planes of consciousness. So when you're in this
Yeah.
witness mind, I mean, it's just the concept of free will and fate is an ego perception creation. So once you step out of that, like there's
Mm.
no such thing as free will or fate.
It's all just phenomena.
It's all just phenomena,
Yeah,
right?
that's what
Every
he'd say.
action is just another phenomena. Yeah.
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 And that's what I mean, like when we talk about like will worry and control and these things having this
Mm,
perception of the future actually change us.
yeah.
It's not even whether we like, it's not even the conversation whether we have free will or control
Yeah.
or there's fate or anything. It just is.
Just is here
And
now.
to think that we could even know the difference or
Yeah.
be able to tell if there was a difference,
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, like you said, it's an ego projection, isn't it? Thinking
Yeah.
that we like to know things.
Yeah.
We just don't know. We can't know
Mm,
the future.
yeah.
And for me, like I remember this quote, and I don't know whether this was actually what Einstein said or right, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and whether I'm gonna probably butcher this quote again. Me playing it down before I say anything. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Um,
You caught yourself, so I think it's fine.
um, like Einstein, whether he believes in God. I don't know if he actually said this, but
Mm,
so there's if you draw like 4 quadrants, right? Okay, and in one quadrant, in the top left quadrant, you believe in God and God's real.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a win when you go to heaven. If you believe in God and God's real,
Yeah.
all right. Top
Yeah.
right,
Mm,
you believe in God and God's not real.
yeah.
Is there any loss there? Like you've had this faith your whole life. You believed in something. You believed in
Yeah.
something greater than yourself. You believed in love and relationships, right?
Yeah.
Whatever God was for you, right?
Yeah.
So you still win.
Mm,
On the bottom, you've got um, in the bottom left,
mm,
you don't believe in God
yeah.
and God's real.
Yeah.
Well, you die and you go to hell because you never believe in God, you lose.
Yeah.
And then the other one, you don't believe in God and God's not real,
Mm,
you didn't benefit from anything.
mm,
So, like, whether you believe that faith,
mm,
like, so in his mind, it was an equation.
yeah.
If you believe in something
Mm,
greater than yourself, then your life is going to be better.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not
That's good.
whether it doesn't matter whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
Like 3 of the 4 outcomes, the only 2 outcomes that were positive
Mm,
was that you believed. It didn't
yeah.
matter whether it was God or it was real or not. You had a
Yeah.
better life.
Yeah.
You didn't believe, well, you didn't benefit anything in one of them, and in the
Yeah.
other one, he was real and he went to hell. So
Yeah. Yeah.
75% chance of a better life if you believed in something.
In something. Yeah.
And for
And
me, a
he
brain who loves maths, like that just like hit a chord, man, because it's
awesome.
probability, man. You
Mm,
know, like
mm,
it doesn't
agreed.
matter.
Yeah. And
Does this make your life better?
mm, I think a really good link to that is people who believe in God have this connection. They both believe in the same thing, right? And I feel like it's kind
Mm,
of bringing us together also, this belief in
mm.
this stuff, because it is a belief, right? Like it's just another a story, some things we're feeling, and
Yeah,
some stuff we believe in. And
mm,
damn, when two people like believe in something, and
yeah,
that's a space that just opens up for so much connection,
mm,
which is so special and so
mm,
such a good feeling against, yeah, the loneliness. And
yeah. And even if it's not real, like you already
yeah,
won.
exactly, because
And
we're
that's what Einstein's point was. Like,
yeah, yeah,
there's so much more to life than knowing
yeah,
the future. And
yeah,
like, and that's why God, I gotta be careful saying that word because God has
yeah,
such a negative connotation, even with me,
yeah,
because what you're taught growing up about
yeah,
God. But God for me is not, I guess, the Bible God. It's just like it's this higher. It's just any reference to a higher.
yeah,
For me, it's the universe. I call my God the universe. It's just
yeah,
high energy, knowing thing, whatever it is,
agreed,
that I just have faith and love in will look after
yeah,
me.
yeah, agreed. Agreed. Should we circle back?
Yeah. So
To
the
the
inner
inner child.
child.
Yeah. We got typical us. That was a really good conversation. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. That was beautiful just listening to what you said then about like connection and
Yeah.
like you said, it's brought us together. Like,
Yeah.
and that's why like I don't know, I just my inner child doesn't trust anyone. That was a
Yeah.
massive learning.
Yeah.
I guess probably why trust is a big thing for me. Like I now
Yeah.
won't even say I trust people. Like I still don't say I say I trust the universe.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
trust people.
Yeah.
I trust that that's what the universe wanted those people to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still can't trust that they have the right intentions towards me, which really is something that my inner child definitely holds. Like,
Yeah.
um,
It's a big burden
it'll
too.
hold a lot of emotion,
Yeah.
uh, and a lot of things before it reacts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so I don't know where I learnt this, but
Mm.
the learning not to trust. I feel like for me, it's friendships is where I struggle more.
Yeah.
Um, I'm lucky that I've had a very good relationship and had someone teach me that I cared, be loved in a relationship, um, which is even hard to say because, like, especially when you're learning to love yourself. I can say it now. I wouldn't be able to say that 2 years ago. That
Yeah.
I'm learning to love myself and my inner child and every part of me, but which is a beautiful thing. Like I wouldn't have been able to say that out loud. So I've come a little bit away.
Yeah.
Uh, but I still struggle in friendships.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. There's probably a few reasons, but I've never had extremely close friends.
Yeah.
Um, just that inner child just has a natural, or it's one of its belief patterns is not to trust people,
Yeah.
not to
Yeah.
let them in.
Not to let them in. Yeah.
But I've
Yeah.
never felt that with you know, and
Yeah.
that's why, like, yeah, families are a beautiful thing
Yeah.
too.
Agreed. When's it coming? When am I gonna push you away?
But I don't know. I just got this belief that you can't, so
Yeah.
it doesn't even phase me.
Yeah.
um,
Awesome. Awesome. I think yeah.
but again, it's just a pretty part of my programming. Like
Mm,
your family, for some reason, isn't a part of that. Which
yeah.
you know,
Got
once
different
I
laws.
consider, I think once I consider someone a friend,
Yeah.
I I would do a lot for them,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. Like I can't just have just friends. You know what I mean? Like I've
Yeah.
never been. It's either we've got a deep connection or we're not.
Yeah.
So like I put a lot of trust and faith and things in. So I think I then struggle to maintain those friendships
Yeah.
because any little thing
Yeah.
that breaks within that my perception of our friendship for that
Yeah.
inner child, any little thing that happens out of the norm, it's like break it off.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
cut that and
Yeah.
start again. Let's go.
Yeah.
Escape that. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Cut. I'm massive, just like cutting people off, but
Yeah.
and that's a safety mechanism. There's
Yeah.
obviously something that's happened along the way. That's
Yeah.
that's one of my inner child's beliefs, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm better at catching that now. I don't
Yeah.
take my friendships as seriously anymore. I don't
Yeah.
think.
That's good. They're in a softer place. Um, I do
Do you
have a
have any other
question.
beliefs that you think your inner child has?
Um, I'll go into it. Um, I'll answer this question after I ask it to you.
So much better.
Um, so this is one of Godsy's questions. Just a podcaster that we both listen to. Um,
Eric Godsey, check him out. You want to face your
check him out.
fears? You want someone that'll challenge you daily to face your fears?
He's a great inspiration. What was your first memory and what was the feeling
Oh man.
backing that memory?
Um It's hard because I hear him ask this question, and I've thought about it.
Yep. The one that comes to mind, it doesn't.
The first one's always like, I just remember. I don't even know if you were alive yet.
Mm.
But it's Dad coming home from a trip,
Yeah.
and he bring us all presents,
Yeah.
and I just couldn't wait to open to see what we got.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just all there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
Awesome.
remember if you were there or not because
What was the feeling?
just joy.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, like it was in that Charters Towers, in that
Mm.
double-story house. Yeah,
Mm.
I don't know, because I don't like doing presents now.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, I like it actually. When I get one, I do. But I just
Yeah.
don't. It's not something I do. Like give and get presents a lot. But
Me
what
too,
about you?
actually. The whole present thing, yeah. I think I'm a big avoider of presents because I feel just the pressure of getting someone something.
Transaction? Was it transactional relationship?
Transactional relationship, literally.
Why is this person getting me something? It's because they want something from me.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
power? What
exactly.
power are they trying to get over me?
Yeah, and I'm not gonna get them anything because it won't be good. They won't like
Exactly.
it.
So
And then
much
they won't love
pressure.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Our
exactly.
perception of love.
What a lie.
But that's the thing, like, and whether that's true or not, like,
Mm,
our problem with that is we won't let people love us.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's literally 50% of love, right? Is the receival.
Mm.
Mm,
It's like I learned a couple of years now, like I learned to say thank you when someone
yeah.
would give me a compliment
Yeah. Yeah.
because
That's a
I
big
would
one.
just like I could not accept it.
Yeah.
I'd just go on this reason and like
Mm,
it makes things just so much harder too. Like
mm,
just say thank you
yeah.
and just sit with it. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Like don't
Yeah.
fight it.
Yeah.
But it's that play small, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
you know, don't let people think you're too big or you think too good of yourself, like
Yep.
mm.
Yep.
What's your first memory and the
Yeah.
emotion?
Okay, so I just have this memory in my mind, and like I can literally see it right now of us playing cricket in someone's front yard. I don't think it was ours. Um, but we're playing cricket with our family and I think another family, and the ball got hit across the road, and I went across to grab it, and I went to throw it back, and a car was coming, and I fake threw it at the car, and the car stopped and ran down the
Oh,
window and just yelled at me like you could have like made me crash and everything and just absolutely drilled me. And I just remember so much fear and feeling so
whoa,
scared.
man.
Yeah, it's such a
You caught someone in their inner child.
yeah, yeah, proper. And it's I think made mine scared.
Yeah.
So scared of
Mm.
doing an intuition thing,
Mm.
right? Or doing a
Yeah.
curious thing, like not even
Yeah.
intuition, just a curious thing. Like what's gonna
Oh,
happen
man.
if I do this action? Oh, curiosity's bad. Curiosity makes me feel scared and fearful and yeah.
I feel that a lot.
Yeah.
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 I feel like that's just so relevant in our society.
Yeah.
Like that natural playfulness.
Yeah. It's
And
just yeah.
we don't like that.
Nah.
There's something, and this is why, like, as a teacher, I just really struggled to enjoy it. But we don't focus on natural creativity or curiosity
Yeah.
or answering questions that we care about. Like, we teach to not do that.
Yeah.
Like stay in the lane,
To not play.
to not
Don't be
play.
creative. Don't be curious. You'll get someone hurt.
Mm. Man, that's powerful. What does
Yeah.
God say about? I can't remember what he says about that emotion from your first memory. What does he say that means for you?
So it's I wouldn't say that's my first memory because I was old enough to cross the road and throw the ball.
That's what came to mind, wasn't it?
That's what came to mind.
Yeah.
But he says that that is the first progression in like your first. I might be butchering this completely, but like the moment that your kind of ego splits,
Mm.
if that makes sense. I
Yeah.
don't really know, but
Well, it's
it's
those
the
brain waves, isn't it? When you
yeah.
like become, you're not in that imagination world anymore.
Yeah, you're not in the yeah, exactly. Yep, you're not in
It's
this.
around
Yeah,
that 6 years old,
yeah. When you're, yeah,
alpha waves.
yeah. That's a better way of explaining it. Agreed.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
The
So,
wound of the inner child.
right, so
Yeah.
much fear and just scared to just create, and which is so. I'm so glad that we have found this practice of going the other direction because it is literally the
Mm.
other direction than what I know personally speaking that I've chosen the other decision the past 23 years of my life,
Yeah.
right? Or other than the
Mm.
first 6 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that is such like I feel like we're about to climb Everest with that shit. Like, how do you unlearn the last 20 years of making the same decision? And then just like this slight like, hello, like create. It's so light
One
and
breath at a time,
faint.
man. One breath
Yeah,
at a time.
agreed. But it's also exciting and cool and bringing us
It's a
together,
new
which is
world, man.
awesome.
It's a
Yeah,
new world.
yeah.
You're creating. And like by bringing that energy up, right? You just bring
Mm,
that up, right? And you sat with it then, didn't you? How
mm.
do you feel? I can see it in you, man. I have this feeling, right? You didn't just bury that thought down. You
Yeah.
bring that to the surface, and
Mm,
you might feel real tired and drained after
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, it will have less power next time.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Oh yeah.
You just changed, and now how do you feel? Like what emotion is you feeling now?
Like a nervousness, I
Yeah.
think.
Also,
Like a
I felt like
nervous
you had some
energy.
excitement. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what you went to straight after was that
Yeah.
like nervous, but like excitement, like about the
Yeah.
possibility.
Yeah. I felt
Because
um like energy through my body, right? Like I felt
yeah,
like I would call it like a shiver.
yeah, because that shame and guilt and fear from that is just an energy, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like excitement's an energy.
Yeah. And that's so funny because I still feel guilty for it. Like I still,
You should, man.
how dare I, right?
That's exactly what's been drilled into our brains.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah. How do
Do
you
what you're told.
how do you out believe the belief? One breath at a time, as you said,
One
right?
breath at a time, man. I get it. You're like, how old are you? You're only like,
I'm 24.
yeah.
I've had this I've had this thought a few times, but it's never felt as powerful as that just now.
Mm,
That had to come out of me.
mm.
I could see it.
It was meant to.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so, like, when I get now, like, when I'm aware that that happens to me, right?
Mm,
I'm really trying to just sit with that
yeah.
emotion because the more you sit with it, the less power it will have. next
No,
time.
right
Like
now.
I have like some real ones. Like I know I have these thoughts that like play
Mm,
on my mind about my self-worth. Like we talked about last week, like can I
mm,
accept everything that I have done? You know
yeah.
what I mean? And there's
Yeah.
some things that I've done that
Mm,
come back to my mind, like don't do this. This
yeah.
is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, righto, like let's sit with what happened for a
Mm,
second because I've been
yeah.
avoiding it for so long.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you just
And
sit with it. And then
yeah.
you can feel it go. It dissipates. Everything goes.
Yeah.
Everything comes and goes. Every emotion, every feeling. But if you just push it down,
Yeah.
it'll keep having that hold over you.
Yeah. Yeah. Pushing it down. And it's so funny that like you don't see yourself pushing it down until you stop pushing it down.
Yeah.
Right? Like you
You're not
don't think
aware until you don't
yeah.
you gotta observe that you don't even know you're having that thought. You don't even know that's
Yeah.
why you're not consciously aware that's why you avoid,
Yeah.
curiosity or creativity.
Mm, yeah. Awesome.
I had this, it was weird, like it's even like little things, man, but like,
Yeah.
we talked about last week at the public speaking, but I had this fear, right?
Yeah.
I'm still not even sure where it came from. If I was traveling somewhere, I had to
Mm,
know 2 days out where I was parking.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Weird, right? Like I had to
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
could I park? I don't know what happened.
Mm,
Like maybe like it was when I first got my P's and like I was going to uni, and I was late for lectures or something.
mm.
So something must have happened, but it's like even little things like that.
You have to know that you can park. Yeah.
Yeah, but like little behaviors like that. Once I
Mm,
realized that's coming from somewhere, and I sat with it, it doesn't bother me now.
yeah.
Just like that fear of public, but you've got to do that with everything, don't you? And there's so many areas of your life still. Like I might do it for one thing,
Mm,
and it keeps coming back. You got to keep being aware of it, but like
mm,
less and less power each time. But
mm.
there's so many parts of my life that are like that.
Yeah. Do
You
you
know what I mean?
yeah. I've got something to add on to that. Do you still see it come up? Like,
The parking thing.
yeah.
At times, yeah, it just does not
Mm,
have the strength it used to.
yeah.
Like it'll
Um,
be like a bit of a question now, like, oh,
yeah.
should you
Yeah.
trust?
Yeah. Um, in becoming
It's more
nobody.
helpful now, you know what I mean? It used to just be
Yeah.
like constant worry, like, why the fuck did I need to know? It'd stop me going places, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
but like one thing I'm really trying to be at, like, or two things, like letting go of what people think of me and
Mm,
um trying to bring that into awareness and like the mess thing at the moment, like
yeah.
obsession over mess. And one I found the other day,
Mm,
and I'm reading about these brainwaves and brainwave state. Like I have like things I have to do straight away at work, like things I have to focus on. Like I'll have a list of things I've got to do, and at the
yeah.
moment it's just endless, right?
Yeah.
One thing comes, two thing add on.
Yeah.
Whereas before, it hasn't been this long before.
Yeah.
But my brain thinks that the smallest thing that I probably don't really need to do is as
Yeah.
big a thing as the other things.
Yeah.
So I
Wow.
find myself just like trying to do three things at once, can't focus on one thing, and just in this highly stressed state all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to unlearn that and retrain it to be like, breathe.
Yeah.
It's not the
And
priority.
methodically work through it.
Or not even thought it like I don't need to.
Yeah.
And trust
Okay.
is helping a little bit. Like I can
Yeah.
leave, focus more on like being present. Like
Yeah.
not, and this is the thing with goals, isn't it? Not having an end
Mm,
goal. Like being
mm,
present, there's no end goal to that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Trusting the universe, there's no end goal to that.
Yeah.
Like trying to have intentions towards a way of being
Yeah.
rather than I need to get this particular thing done.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, what I'm trying to unlearn these pattern of behaviors
Yeah.
to be like manifesting
Yeah.
things that I want to do.
Yeah.
But even before, another one I'd noticed that I'm really, another one,
Yeah.
really trying to observe these things. But like we were talking before, and we are
Mm,
talking about things that come to mind, and like catching ourselves when we like
Yeah.
play small or whatever. But I'm just thinking the whole time, like 5 minutes there, like this is gonna be bad. Like I'm gonna have to. Should we even upload this one? Like
Yeah.
this needs to be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this one good?
100%.
I haven't been present, man. I haven't.
Yeah.
Like that was just. And
It's
then
all a
like
part of it though, right?
yeah, and like you said, throwing that away doesn't really help. Like I
Yeah.
need to sit with that. Like
Yeah.
where is that emotion, that
Yeah.
fear coming from?
Yeah.
Even now, I think like, oh, I'm doing so much talking. Jarrod should talk. Am I talking too much?
Never.
Oh, but this just excites me so much, man. Because like, I
Yeah.
don't know, I probably put people off with it sometimes because like I'm so detached. Like I'm so willing and open to talk about these things because I know they're
Mm.
not me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it's not a personal thing anymore. Like what you're
Yeah.
attacking Adam. It's not who
Yeah.
I am. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like my inner child might react to you, defend
Yeah.
defend Adam and the ego.
Yep. And you're
But
in
when
that,
I'm
yeah.
present, I know that
Yeah.
I'm human and I'm just trying to, yeah.
Mm. In in Becoming Nobody, Ramdas, I don't know if this might ring a bell in your memory. He when these emotions come, like when you're listening to me or in a thought thinking, is this good enough? And he just says, "Hello, friend. Welcome back." Right? Like when you're going to like look for a park like in 2 days ahead. Ah, hello, friend.
Yeah.
Welcome
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. I
You're
try and use like
like,
in meditation, I go, there I
ah,
was.
yeah, yeah. Hello. It's just
Because
another part of me.
if you
Mm,
judge that, you're just you're reinforcing the cycle, aren't you?
yeah, yeah,
Because you're like, oh, I should be this.
yeah,
That just, that makes you more
yeah,
unconscious.
yeah. It's just phenomena. Like it's just he loves that word, hey.
Yeah. I didn't want to say
Getting
it because
stuck
I'm
in
like, I
my
don't know if
brain.
I'm phenomena, if I'm saying it right. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's such a trip where it's just like it can get confusing between like let yourself be, but I don't know, this idea that what we're doing is making us better, but it's not. You know what I
Mm,
mean? It's just making us.
mm,
It's like just making us.
mm,
Like you can't
mm,
say that 2 years ago I was better or worse. You know what I
mm.
mean? Because it just reinforces the.
It's so hard, I think, for me and you to accept
Yeah.
that doing less
Yeah.
and being and
Yeah.
not achieving or making more money or
Yeah.
is progress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
well, I don't know if you feel that, but like money
Yeah.
was a big thing for
Yeah.
me. Still comes up a lot,
Yeah.
uh, but I've definitely let
Mm,
a lot of that go, but it's still there. But
mm.
that's probably a different podcast
Yeah. Yeah.
if we want to go
Agreed.
down that route.
Agreed. I think yeah, I really resonated with the lazy thing.
Mm, heard that one a lot, and like someone
Yeah.
will say it to me now. It's
Yeah.
like the thing, like go stay with your parents for the week and
Yeah,
see if you're
brother.
conscious. I could be like the most conscious person or like
Mm,
meditated or whatever,
mm,
and now that I've sat with it a bit more, I'm aware of it. But like even a
mm.
year ago, someone called me lazy. Bang! It's probably like
Yeah.
one of the most reactive I would ever be.
Yeah.
Uh,
So defensive.
or yes, so defensive.
Mm,
Or it's that inner child, like
yeah.
threat.
Yeah.
It like one of those like that would be probably as big as like
Mm,
back then would have been like putting myself out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah. That's so
you
funny
know,
that like those people were actually probably helping you,
trying to, yeah,
trying to.
and their
Yeah.
intention was probably there,
Yeah.
but the energy and emotion that I felt at the time is
Mm.
associated to that thought,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So that's what's stored and that's what comes up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's probably a lot of shame and guilt
Yeah.
associated to that, and I felt that.
Yeah.
And again, that's not on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and this is what Ramdas says too. Like, and
Mm.
people don't want to hear this. He's like, this is what people don't like about my lectures is that
Yeah.
got to get rid of that victim mindset
Yeah.
to heal. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's just on their, you know, every incarnation is on
Yeah.
has their own karma, and your job's just to heal it. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta, and the first step to that is take responsibility for your own shit. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Walk
he
your
doesn't say it
path,
like that.
right?
He says that a lot more elegantly and probably spiritually.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there's a lot there for like future podcasts.
Yeah. Agreed.
I wrote this the other day. I do want to say it. Like,
Yeah.
we'll have a podcast on meditation, but
Yeah.
for me, this is like, yeah, a bit vulnerable sharing this because another thing growing up, like, I guess it's like that self-fulfilling prophecy when you're good at some subjects and you're not doing so well at some subjects. Like for me, writing and reading, I was never like, so I told myself I was bad and I couldn't write. But I actually love writing now. Like I love it, man. I love journaling. It helped me so much, like incredibly. Not only like heal that wound, but like just so it's just so powerful. But so this is just about meditation, but the world looks different. Feels, smells, sounds, and tastes different when you meditate. By going within and changing your internal world, you can see the infinite beauty of the external realm. And there's no other feeling quite like it. The only way I can even come close to describing it is a combination of peace, love, gratitude, and abundance. Things are so clear and simple. I know my purpose. I can hear my intuition call, and my imagination is free to run wild, not held down by the weight of the past or future. If I could travel anywhere in the universe, it would be here in this moment. Nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. And then snap, there Adam is. Back come the habitual thoughts and emotions. But that's okay, because I trust this too is a part of the experience. I'm just grateful to be allowed to visit.
Wow. That was awesome.
But I didn't want to I practiced like saying it in my head, but I probably just butchered
Yeah.
it. But that's just
No,
like,
that was beautiful.
I don't know, man. It's just like if I could tell someone
Mm.
that you can just feel whole and safe and loved and like there's no pressure and no like and all you have to do is sit
Yeah.
and listen, like so powerful, man.
Yeah.
Meditation and what it's done for me and what it's given me. So
Yeah.
it's just what excites me. Like, yeah. Now I don't want to put that in the podcast and I want to
That
change the
was
subject very quickly.
awesome. I genuinely enjoyed listening to that.
Thank you.
Like, that was
You have to
cool.
say that.
Take the compliment.
Thank you. Every part of me wants to not, wants to repel. But
Yeah.
that's vulnerability, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm,
That is. I think that's a beautiful spot to end
mm.
on that.
But it's that, and then snap. It's,
Yeah.
but like, it's so worth it for that moment, man.
Yeah.
So
Agreed. Thank you
thank
for
you.
sharing. Thank you.
Thank you for making me do this tonight. I wanted to bail.
Me too, man.
Oh.
Me too. It's been a big weekend.
Yeah, you've
Very big.
downloaded a lot this weekend.